Hey, it's time for a glass of OJ. I'm Ajo. So, I'm at ShmooCon. We're now at the end of ShmooCon, and I thought I wanted to record some of my thoughts and just kind of talk about being at ShmooCon and what it has meant to me. I, like most people, have stayed away from conferences. I've stayed away from clubs. I've stayed away from bars. I've stayed away pretty much from almost all social life that wasn't getting masked up and go to the grocery store if I wasn't having groceries delivered to me. That's the way I've been living the past 2 years. I haven't even seen my family, right, very much. My brother from time to time comes over to my house. That's it. I haven't been to any conferences. I think the only conference I went to was Hackers Teaching Hackers. It was a small conference, not to be disparaging about it. It's a small conference. A couple hundred people. It was great. It was great seeing some of those people, some folks I met, some folks that I knew. So it was really nice. The big thing that I think this really helped with this year, being at ShmooCon, was that influx of seeing all the people that I've even met just virtually and seeing for the first time. That was really cool. Oh wow, you're taller than I expected. I'm like 6'4", and I'm meeting people that were taller than I expected. Some people who were shorter than I expected. I met some new people, but I met my friends that I've known for a while. They've either helped out on a con, I've seen them at other cons, whatever, right? That has done so much for my health and well-being today. Definitely a lot of serotonin rush. Feel good. But honestly, also some of the days, the parties and the bar over there across the hall, down from the elevator bank, it was just so much, and I just decided I'm gonna stay in. I'm gonna stay in my room. I'll order in food. I didn't really hang out. I think I went out to dinner once or twice. Steve D3 and I went down to the Spy Museum. We did all that good stuff, but I stayed away from people. It was getting to be too much for me. So my recommendation to you is come to a con. Come to a con. What's the next in-person con that you can safely get to? If you're vaccinated, go have yourself a con. Give your permission to do that. Give yourself permission to do that. We do have a new normal we're going to be coming into as this becomes endemic, which I'm really hoping this is the beginning of an endemic COVID. Hopefully the elimination of it, but much like flu, we're still not over that, right? And so this may be with us for a while. And so we're going to have to take our risks like we always do, measure them, and do them as best we can. And from time to time, we may need to adopt masks again to deal with it, just like you would have flu season. You would need to, wash your hands more vigilantly and get your shot and things like that. So this may be just added to that, right? That may be the new normal for this. But also being at ShmooCon, I did something else that was really cool. I got to see a talk by a person who fled Afghanistan when the Taliban last year essentially reconquered Afghanistan. And he and his family have come to America, and they had nothing. He owned a business over in Afghanistan. He had some money over there. He owned a business, had a lot of consultants, and now he has nothing. He's over here, and Hackers for Charity, who was hosting the talk, is essentially helping him out with technology, the laptop, but they're also helping him with working through processes. Because even some of the charities that are specifically meant to deal with process like residency and housing, they're failing. We were talking about some stuff that was supposed to be in DC. It then went to Missouri and then came back. Like paperwork just shifted. While his brother, was taking care of in like 2 days or 2 weeks or whatever. Now he's been in months of paperwork going to Missouri for some unknown reason. It's the classic bureaucracy. Anybody in the military who's had to deal with the VA has had to deal with this shenanigans that happen in our bureaucracy. Now imagine not speaking the language. He speaks the language fairly well. We were able to understand everything he was saying. But imagine someone who doesn't understand English, can't even talk to people to even know what do I need to do. He understands English, but still, the process can be confusing even if you are an English speaker. And so Hackers for Charity is helping a lot of the Afghan folks resettle and, build their life, and helping them with the technology. Like they're giving Chromebooks and mouses and a backpack to them, or some kind of case to them, so that they can do college, or they can work, or they can check emails, or they can do their paperwork that they need to on time, and teaching them to be secure, things like that. And that's important. That's everything to help them right now through this, and they're also helping them kind of handle through this. That was really good to see all the cool things that are going on. So then what ended up happening is there's a person who usually who auctioneers during the Hackers for Charity auction. That happens at ShmooCon, and also does it at BeesLads Las Vegas. His name's Quadling. He's awesome. Miss you, Quadling. Why weren't you here? But rest assured, I was actually able to take care of auctioneering services while you were gone. And although I don't have your wonderful top hat, I do have a fez. So similarly festive hat. We are both well hatted, to borrow a Family Guy reference. And so we ended up raising a couple grand for Hackers for Charity via the auction. There was a cool NSA coin that was given out. There was some Bitcoin that went for $110. So that's what Bitcoin goes for now, right? Hackers for Charity just totally shifted the market. We sold a copy of Windows 10 on the auction. We auctioned off some Circle CityCon Schwagon tickets to some people. There was some Trevor Forget milkshake stuff that we did. There was some wonderful shenanigans ensuing. It was really great. And then at the end, at closing ceremonies at the conference, as is always done, there was a keyboard actually that was auctioned off. One of Heidi's kids actually put together a mechanical keyboard via a kit, but basically kind of soldered everything on himself, and it was really cool. I'll have to show it off some other time on OJ, a glass of OJ here, but it's over just across this table here, but I don't want to get it out at the moment. And essentially, they also auctioned off the Stargate. And for those of you who understand what the Stargate means, but there's essentially this big cardboard and paper, and there's also some Chevron things from Stargate SG-1. And so that gets auctioned off, and someone takes it home every year, and it comes back to the con too. So Heidi ended up offering $1,000 to have one of the regular con goers actually take it. He came up then and actually knew someone who should have had it, and I and some other people donated money on top of what Heidi donated, and then we went ahead, and so I think we raised $2,400 for Hackers for Charity that way. There was a food bank that we raised money for via the t-shirt sales, about $9,000, I think, over $9,000 to a food bank here in DC, and about $8,000 to the EFF via t-shirt sales. So it makes me feel good to do great things. It's really great to see so much charitable activity happening at conferences like this. Honestly, gives me some ideas about Circle CityCon. It's a con I run in Indianapolis, July 1st through the 3rd. You should totally come. And it gives me such great ideas, like to help be more charitable. Of course, we're a charity ourselves, but to bring up causes that are near and dear to the hacker community, but also causes that in our local communities are very important as well. It's not necessarily hacker related. So, what con are you going to go to next? I think there's an Indianapolis event I'm going to go to with a couple hundred people in May, and then I think Circle CityCon, July 1st through the 3rd. Get that plug in. Go volunteer. Go volunteer at a conference. It's a great way to get a free ticket to a conference. Volunteer. So tell me what conference you're going to go to next. So what do you think? Put it down in the comments. Go find me on Twitter. Go find me on LinkedIn. See you in the next one.